Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Welcome back to the Contested NBA podcast. I am one of the co-hosts, one of the three co-hosts, Max Tepper over here.
Ethan Cope.
Alex Toma.
And this is the Contested NBA podcast. I already said that, though. Don't mind me. I am just eating my breakfast. It's steak and eggs, organic eggs. Less than 1% of U.S. farmland is organic, so please buy organic.
I'm sure the podcast listeners are happy to hear that.
Hashtag ad.
You can find them at any supermarket. Anyways,
We're not sponsored by that, okay?
Hashtag ad.
Right. Yeah, let's get it. Actually, let me start the recording real quick, or the timer, just that way we don't go over time. So today, obviously, we have some big news regarding coaching, and then obviously bigger news, having just witnessed Game 2 of the NBA Finals, which, by the way, we are recording this episode on October 3rd, 2020. So let's get into coaching real quick. So obviously the big news is that the 76ers picked up Doc Rivers from free agency after he got hoisted by the Clippers. So what do you got? Alex, you're the Clipper fan here. Let's start with you.
It was probably the 76ers' best option, to be honest.
Yeah.
The coaching market's like a little dry. It seems like Mike D'Antoni, you could argue like recently Mike D'Antoni has had more success than Doc Rivers recently. I mean, if Doc didn't have a ring, I think people might be saying D'Antoni's a better coach, but Doc gets the nod because he does have that championship ring that a lot of coaches don't have. But the 76ers roster was so not D'Antoni's style that like he could not be hired. That would have been a bad hire, I thought, unless they traded a bunch of people. But
yeah,
what you hope Doc does for the Sixers is kind of unlock Embiid. And under centers, Doc has done good with centers. He helped DeAndre Jordan develop. Trez in the regular, Trez had his best seasons under Doc, not so much in the postseason, but Trez has had his best seasons under Doc. And even though Doc didn't play Zubac, it was clear that he did develop from last year. So Doc has like a decent track record with bigs. So I think Joel Embiid will have his best year next year under him. And Doc, maybe, I don't know. We'll see if he coaches up different next year. I think he is a voice that the 76ers do need. At the end of the day, you might not agree with his X's and O's, but he is a great leader. So I think the 76ers did good in this hire. I was surprised it was a five-year deal, though. That's a lot of commitment from them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was also surprised it was a 5-year deal after, what they just saw Doc Rivers do this postseason. Yeah. I don't know how you kind of look at that and then realize, like, oh, we should sign him for 5 years.
Well, they're notorious for giving people deals that are way too long. So,
but I think, like you said, Alex, I think Doc Rivers to Philadelphia makes the most sense. The only other really coaching option out there right now is Mike D'Antoni, and his play style does not fit the 76ers at all, like you said. But I think it's a good signing. Like, in general, I don't really think they should have committed 5 years to him already. But I guess we'll see how it works out. Max?
Yeah, so, nothing much to be said. He's obviously the best coach for the Sixers on the market, given the talent that they have. This is going to be like a real test for Doc because everyone's a little bit down on him, right? Not even a little bit. Everyone is down on him right now. This would be a good chance for him to show, like I still got it. I still got my coaching chops, and he's with a team that's it's top heavy, but it does have talent, like you said. Obviously, Tobias Harris did very, very well under Doc. He was almost an all-star player. And also, Doc has been able to bring out a lot of potential out of big men that hadn't been playing to their potential, most notably Blake Griffin. So he can definitely bring that out of Joel. Yeah, of course. And Doc also has the experience where he's dealt with, like, everything. He's dealt with everything at every single level. He's not made the playoffs. He's made the playoffs against teams that he had no chance with. He's built cultures for teams that, definitely, like the Clippers probably should not have gone to 6 games against the Warriors last season. but that tough mentality that the
Or
Clippers
make the
had
playoffs,
last season,
really.
yeah, it kept them in the game, kept them in the series. So obviously this has a lot of downside to it. It also has a lot of upside to it. Doc is probably the only guy that can bring out the best in this team, but can this team save itself from bringing out the worst in itself, basically?
Yeah, I agree. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, go ahead, Ethan.
yeah, I was gonna say a lot of like Philly's problems have just been internal, whether that was on Brett Brown or Elton Brand, but also with the players. There's always been, the past couple of years, really since Embiid and Simmons started playing together, there's always been rumors like, oh, there are locker room issues, and Al Horford even came out and said earlier this year, yeah, there have been locker room problems, and yeah, like our chemistry isn't the best. So we'll see if Doc can, change that for them, because I do think it's hard because this past year with the Clippers, there's all like the speculation that there were chemistry and locker room issues,
and with Lob City too, by the way.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at his track record is very like up and down. Like with the Celtics, he got a ring, but with the Celtics, there were also chemistry issues. So
that's true.
I mean, I think it was Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett wanted to trade Rondo, and Ray Allen didn't. And that created locker room issues. Once that got out to the media, there was, like you said, the locker room issues and chemistry issues with Lob City and this past Clippers team. So I do think that's a little, I guess, worrisome, just because the Sixers have been known to have chemistry issues, and Doc Rivers has been known to be coaching teams with chemistry issues. So I do think, like you said earlier, that 5-year deal really isn't sounding that good to me. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
It's just very up and down with his resume. Like you said, he developed Rondo, and I think even took CP3 to another level. Even like as good as he was in New Orleans, I think he did take him to another level with.
Probably took him to more of that like
superstar,
a bona fide winner.
Yeah. Because in New Orleans, that was probably more due to CP3 having less talent, but CP3 kind of started to experience more of that winning feeling when he teamed up with Doc. But
yeah.
And just to end on that, Ethan, a reason I think for the chemistry problems is because Doc is kind of known to like be a player's coach, and he lets his players like duke it out a little bit. So at times there might be, I guess, a negative of Doc is that sometimes he doesn't completely like store to order.
Yeah.
And kind of lets his players like do as they wish. But we'll see, man. It was the best hire for them. So
yeah, I really think,
plus they have a really defensively sound team, like just overall.
Yeah,
especially with like
Embiid and Simmons.
Yeah, and then Tybalt coming up.
Yeah,
Richardson
off the bench. Yeah.
Doc is also a very defensively minded coach, and Doc's tough, man. You're not going to be seeing this like Ben Simmons wide open from the three and he doesn't shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, maybe I don't know, but hopefully that he can close that gap in Simmons' game.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I think it's going to come down to more than just Doc if you're going to improve Simmons, offensive skill set.
Yeah.
Because he's really like, he has no shooting packages. Like he didn't spend any VC on that in my career. But yeah, I think hopefully, I guess for the 76ers sake and for Ben Simmons' sake, he can at least start to like develop an offensive game for Ben Simmons other than driving to the basket and I guess post moves. I don't even know if he does that. I really only see him drive to the basket.
I think the number one thing, it's not even shooting threes so much. It's literally free throws. Like he shoots 50 to 60% from free throws.
Yeah, and that's bad because to drive it in, if you drive in a lot, you tend to get fouled a lot. So you need to be.
Yeah, so that's probably the one part of his game that he needs to fix even before three-point shooting. I mean, we know players that aren't three-point threats, but they're still good.
Yeah.
None of them as talented as Ben Simmons, but my point still remains.
Yeah, like really, if he starts making, I don't know, at least like 70 to 75, that's probably another
That's
overall,
fine.
like that's
Yeah.
another like 3 to 5 points per game for him.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So let's move on now to obviously the biggest, what everyone's competing for, which is the NBA Finals. Obviously, we have the Heat and the Lakers. Just a recap of Game 1. It was boring. No, it wasn't boring. It was after the first quarter.
That wasn't an understatement.
Well,
But sure.
hey, I enjoy.
Boring.
You're the
enjoying
Laker fan, so you had fun. Let's
Yeah,
boring for fans that aren't Heat or Lakers fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or really
not
that
even
just
if you're-
aren't Lakers fans. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Heat fan that was enjoying that.
I feel
But,
like Heat fans wouldn't be bored though. I feel like it's more like frustration and sadness, knowing
Yeah.
that your season's over.
Obviously, after the first quarter, the game went completely in the Lakers' favor. And in the first quarter, I was really like, dude, this is going to be a hardwood classic because it started out really well. And when both of those teams took the court, like you had the feeling like these really are the best two teams. These are the best two teams to come out. And they are. But the problem is the Lakers just – I mean, obviously the Heat have had bad luck with Jimmy, Bam, and Dragic, which are literally their three best players going down in Game 1. Jimmy obviously came back. Bam was out. Dragic might not even return for the rest of the series, but Bam might return for Game 3. So Lakers pretty much wiped the floor with that one.
Yeah.
And that was a LeBron game. And then last night
in Game 1.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job of padding his stats late in Game 1.
Oh,
Game
sorry.
2 was
No,
more
you're right.
of a LeBron game. If
Yeah.
anything.
I got it mixed up. So Game 1 was the AD game. Game 2, it was in kind of another blowout, but the Heat did make a third quarter comeback to bring it in within 10. Yeah, they made it interesting. AD was going off in the third quarter, and LeBron had like 32, 9 and 9, 33, 9 and 9, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was that.
0 turnovers, by the way, and LeBron went crazy. It's LeBron. What do you expect? But then there's this whole like, well, who's the Finals MVP now? And we'll get into that later. But overall, I mean, the Lakers are just kicking the Heat's butt. And by the way, the 2-3 zone that the Heat apparently are so famous for, I mean, the Lakers are picking that apart. They're picking it apart. I mean,
LeBron's too smart for that.
I didn't even. Yeah.
So
because the way the Lakers designed their game plan with the 2-3 zone, and I kind of noticed this, but I didn't really like follow up on it. But LeBron was on the baseline the whole time, and if you look up like traditionally where basketball players are supposed to stand at their positions, fours are supposed to stand on the baseline towards the back. And so I think the Lakers are really starting to like get back into like old basketball fundamentals.
I mean, you see that because I mean AD is just chilling at the baseline, and then once LeBron drives in, like the zone just collapses on him, and then AD gets the open dunk every single time.
Yeah, but this is another thing with the benefit of having LeBron on the baseline. It's like if you're a Heat defender, all right, you have KCP, you have Danny Green at the wing and the elbow. They were not good last night, but either way, they are still considered shooters.
Yeah,
so you have to watch out for them. And you have LeBron James standing behind you at all times.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, and that's the trick with zone is you have to like pick it apart. It's like cotton candy or something. You just got to pick it apart, and the Lakers have been doing that.
Yeah, I really just think having that presence of AD and Bron also just helps the Lakers out because then, if LeBron's driving in, he's going to get double teamed, and then you leave AD open. But even if for whatever reason it's the other way around, it's just going to, vice versa. AD drives in, Bron's open, or they can kick it out, and it's just not working for the Heat at all, obviously.
And going small on AD doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
But they had no choice. Bam was out, and other than Kelly Olynyk, he's their only big man.
Yeah, I mean,
Kelly
without
Olynyk
Bam,
can't do shit.
Kelly Olynyk was bad in Game 2. Maybe he had his moments, but man,
he had
took
moments.
And Myers
he had a high
Leonard
ceiling.
Leonard definitely ain't doing shit against AD. That's why he only got like 10 minutes last night after starting.
He hit that first three, and it was just like
he got like 9.
But the biggest thing with the Lakers is that obviously everyone knew LeBron and AD were the best duo in the league. That was like no question. If you thought otherwise, you're just like a hater, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how
Oh,
you
I mean, you thought otherwise.
Yeah, before a game was played, but
yeah, I thought it was pretty even to start the year based on
yeah,
what PG did last year. But
yeah. And the thing with the Lakers is like during the regular season, they were not one of the better 3-point shooting teams. I think they were 23rd in the league in 3-point shots, and that's what gave the Lakers or the opponents at least to see some vulnerable thing in their game. But in the bubble, it seems like they've been lights out. And another
It's
big
weird.
thing,
It's really weird.
I think it's going unnoticed. During the regular season, not LeBron, AD shot only 32% from the mid range during like pre-pandemic, and in the bubble, that's jumped up to 50.5%.
Yes, sir.
So I mean,
yes, sir.
there's obviously something with shooters in the bubble, but I mean, that's when you looked at the Lakers, that's what you said were their weaknesses. They didn't have enough shooting around LeBron and AD, and at
yeah,
times AD was too jump shot heavy. And you brought this up a lot, Max. A lot of times AD was too jump shot heavy, even though he wasn't like the greatest jump shooter, but in the bubble that just completely transformed. And if the Lakers are
Yeah.
hitting threes and AD and LeBron are going off, like I'm sorry, there's nothing
There's
you can
nothing
do
you
about
can.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, obviously, Danny Green and KCP and Kuzma really had a field day just bricking shots back and forth. But I mean, the Lakers really have like a what?
I was gonna say KCP did have the highest plus minus on the Lakers last night with plus 14.
Yeah, that's all.
KCP in game one did turn the tide, though. I mean, when the Heat were up 13, it like as usual, everyone was, "Oh my
All
God,
of
the
YouTube
Lakers
just saw
suck."
you.
Yeah,
All of
Yeah, I
YouTube saw
know.
your
but
belly button.
I wasn't expecting that to happen.
for our podcast listeners, Ethan, just go look it
yeah,
up on
it's okay.
YouTube.
Yeah, okay. But
It's okay. You guys can skip this one.
All
I mean,
right.
as
Just
much
go
as the
back and
KCP, yeah, the KCP like slander is high as it should be because what did he shoot 2 for 10 yesterday, 2 for 11 from three? I don't know,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. But
from from three, but yeah,
in game one, I'm not gonna say he saved the whole game, but that was very much needed when the Heat were up 13 in game
he
one.
kept the
KCP,
energy
yeah,
alive.
yeah, and as you mentioned, if I don't think a lot of people talked about this like before the series. As good as like Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero are from three, they're getting cooked every time on defense.
yeah.
Because you're putting
And
them on LeBron. Like, have you guys
yeah,
seen like they're mad?
yeah, but
Strange.
still, like those guys
Duncan,
aren't like good defenders to begin with. And
yeah, I was gonna say Duncan Robinson has always been like a liability on defense. Tyler Hero, not as much, but I still think Tyler Hero's like, I don't know, mediocre, I
he's
guess, on
just too
defense.
small. Like I don't know, he's just not built to play defense. And
Yeah, you
with
got to put
Duncan
Tyler
Robinson,
Hero on someone like KCP.
yeah,
with Duncan Robinson, he usually guards other wing shooters, so it works out pretty well to where he's not like a total liability.
well, the best thing you could do is hide Duncan and Hero on like just shooters, but you're playing a 2-3 zone. LeBron's gonna hunt him out every time, and even if they're playing man, they're just gonna keep getting screens until one of Hero
Right?
and Robinson get on LeBron, and LeBron's just gonna take him to the hole every single time.
Yeah, I
And
think.
without Bam and Dragic, it's tough for Hero and Duncan Robinson because those guys aren't. Hero can do more than Robinson with the ball, but they're mainly coming off screen, shooting threes. Hero has his moments, but with missing Dragic, they really don't have that dude to control the offense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the Heat are severely outmatched without Dragic and Bam. But even in game one, I felt like,
Mm-hmm.
after they went on their 75-30 run, which is completely unacceptable by the Heat in a finals game. How do you get outscored by 45?
75 to I didn't even know that, but that's
Yeah,
pretty.
it was.
No,
What
that's
was it?
absolutely
75
ridiculous.
to 30. Is that what it was?
Yeah, they went. I
Yeah.
can't remember what they were down by, but at some point, starting in the second quarter, they went on a 75-30 run.
Yeah.
Until like going on towards like the end of the game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and the Lakers don't even need to shoot well, and they are shooting well. I don't know what's gotten into them, especially that first game. They were shooting lights out. And yesterday in the third quarter, I think I brought this stat up in the group chat. like the Heat's offensive rating was like 125, which is already like when in 2014 when the Heat tied the series with the Spurs, the Heat did it with at the time, which was really good, like a 91 offensive rating, something like that. Heat had 125 offensive rating. Lakers had 147 ish, something like that.
Well, that's what happens
That's
when you're hitting
ridiculous.
shots and you have AD and LeBron eating
It's ridiculous.
inside.
So the Heat definitely need to get Bam back. I will make the argument though that Lakers went up 30 when Bam was on the floor.
No, game one was a wash regardless.
Yeah.
I think it's over.
Yeah, it's a sweep. It's a sweep. Like it's okay.
I
thought Heat in 5 was too
Lakers.
generous when I said that. I mean,
I
Lakers
really
in
thought
5.
Lakers in 6 was realistic. 'Cause I actually felt like the Heat really did like match up well with the Lakers, but especially now that Goran, Dragic, and Bam are out, sweep.
All right, so let me ask
Max.
you guys something. Is this an asterisk? But let me, because apparently all these LeBron fans hate on Kawhi because he won against the depleted Warriors team.
And don't forget 2015 when Braun lost to the Warriors without Kyrie and Love.
Yeah, it was. Braun had injuries on his team. Braun had injuries. Y'all got to keep that same energy up.
They got to keep the same energy, but for us,
not you guys, but I'm saying like
in our group chat, people want to discredit Kawhi and say last year was an asterisk. But if you're gonna say that, at least say this year was an asterisk.
Or just don't say any year was an asterisk.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think any.
I'm just saying keep the same energy, like you said.
Keep the same energy for LeBron fan, but for people like us, I don't think there's an asterisk. But it's okay to have context. It's okay to say like 5 years from now when we talk about the 2020 NBA Finals, it's like, damn, they were in a bubble and then the Heat had injuries in the finals, But when you put an asterisk on something, you're like kind of taking it away, and that's not fair at all.
Well, here's one thing I've noticed. 2017, especially 2018, LeBron had no chance against the Warriors, right? I mean, it was just he had a completely like after him, his squad was pretty much nothing. And people want to say like, bro, you got to give LeBron an honorary chip for that. You got to give it an honorary chip. But it was give LeBron an honorary chip, but not give Kawhi or like they want to give LeBron
Kawhi,
a chip,
but
take one away from Kawhi.
Yeah.
Not
if we're doing that, then 2011's minus 5 rings. I don't care. But
yeah,
it's I really don't care about
and what you were saying.
Yeah,
because you keep telling every time this argument comes up in the group chat, you say they say 2017 and 2018 don't count. And you say go watch Game 3 2017 or like the end of it. I watched it, and
the Cavs made more. They had more than a chance to win. And after Game 4, it was it could have easily been 2-2 going back to Game 5 in Golden State in 2017.
Right. Like the Cavs, they had practically the same squad that they had the season before, which I wouldn't say they should be favored against the KD Warriors.
No,
they have a chance.
Yeah, they have a chance. It wasn't like even they weren't like you could say they were outmatched, but I wouldn't use that word because outmatched is when you got no shot. Like you're just not gonna win.
Right.
But
I'm just saying they had a chance. They had a chance.
At the end of the day, when we talk about when this debate comes up like again, like Jordan, LeBron, I'm not gonna be like, oh, LeBron's 4th ring doesn't count. Like he got his 4th ring. Like it is what it is.
Yeah. And then I even brought it up. I was like, Jordan's 1st ring, James Worthy and Byron Scott went down in Game 4, and then Jordan won in Game 5. And then he was like, one of the guys in our group chat, he was like, oh, okay, then 91 is an asterisk too. It's like, why? Just what? Just accept it.
I guess honestly, I wouldn't like care a ton. The only thing I guess I could like take away some legacy points from LeBron in this finals if AD wins Finals MVP, because then people could say, oh, Jordan and Kobe and whoever.
But even then, like you said, you got to add the context. Like it's not like AD was definitively better than LeBron, which he hasn't been.
1A, 1B.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Context.
Because
it's all about
context.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring up an argument, you got to add context to it. But you can't take credit away for something that's been done, and you can't give people that something they didn't earn.
Right.
You know.
People like to change it up to fit their narrative, but hey, what
Yeah.
can we do?
AD though, but let's go back to this finals. AD has been putting up great numbers. I think he's with Shaq and Kareem right now as like the highest scoring Lakers within their first two finals
Simulation
games as a
vibes,
Laker.
as you would say, Max.
And it's scary because Kareem did that in 1980, Shaq did in 2000, AD in 2020. That's wild.
That's what I'm saying. It was meant to be. It was just like the Lakers here, man. Like,
yeah, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Super simulation vibes, but it was meant to be.
In 2040, when Bronny James is on the Lakers, he'll be putting up 80 points after 2 games.
God.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't see this. I don't know if the Heat can – if they do, by some miracle, by the grace of God, they pull this series out and they actually win the title, that will be the greatest comeback of all time.
It would be, but hey, man, that's not happening. But I want to say a thing that's kind of like been going like a little bit unnoticed, I feel, maybe you guys would disagree, is as good as Jimmy deserves all the praise he's got during the bubble, and it's all deserving, but one, he's not a superstar. I think we could all agree on that.
We're starting to see his I would say he is in that bottom superstar tier.
Yeah, I would agree. His
limitations are showing.
His limitations are showing. He's not like a dude with an offensive bag like that. Like, he's a bit limited on offense, and there are a lot of players that I said this, a lot of players that are more talented than him. But if I could like pour Jimmy Butler's like attitude in some of those players, we'd have some like crazy ass dudes.
Yeah, we have all kinds of greats.
If you could, I don't mean to be like biased and bring it up. If you could pour a little bit of Jimmy Butler on Jason Tatum, holy shit!
Here we go.
Wait, no.
That would have been a 5-game series. Celtics win.
I would say that if I could pour like a little bit of Jimmy Butler into like PG's like soft ass self sometimes, and then you'd have someone on the tier in the upper tier. But like a lot of these dudes are more talented than Jimmy, and it's showing right now with his limitations. As good as he is, he's not like in moments you could give him the ball and be like, "Hey, I need a bucket right now." But
he can do that.
He can do that.
Very capable.
He's capable, but as you said, Matt, it's just his limitations showing. That's all.
Yeah, and it's not – I think he could still do a lot with the ball, personally.
He had a good game yesterday. He had a good game.
He averaged 6 rebounds and 6 assists this season.
He's definitely like a playmaker, but when it comes to like shooting and creating shots for himself, he's definitely limited in that area.
Yeah, but he had a great game. I mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's like, oh, he had like 20 trips to the free throw line. Like, they were pretty fair. Like a lot of
they're not the Harden 20 trips.
Yeah, no, they're not the Harden 20 trips, and that doesn't even happen to him every game. So like,
yeah, he didn't like. I don't know if maybe great games like pushing a little. I thought he had like a more than good game yesterday. He did a lot. He did a lot of the outside things that I don't think the casual average fan would have noticed.
Yeah, but I mean, what was the box score? He had like 20, 28.
He almost had a triple double. I think he had double assists.
He definitely had double assists. Let me look it up right now. 25, 8, and 13.
Yeah, like,
and a steal.
Did his thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was 7 for 17 from the field.
Yeah,
but I mean, he's gonna have to take. Yeah. He's gonna have to take a lot of shots.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when at halftime, everyone like Jalen
Kelly Olynyk had 24 points.
Stop, it's empty calorie. But
damn, Lakers suck.
But like at halftime, everyone was like, Jimmy needs to be more aggressive, and I think the point that should have been brought up is like the reason he's not being more aggressive is because he's not that guy, quite that guy.
Maybe he just can't carry a team through all 4 quarters.
Yeah,
because the fourth quarter is his quarter, but he definitely needs a little bit of help.
Project was the other person that could control the offense. Because right now, I don't trust Hero, Robinson. Who else is there? Kendrick Nunn. I'm not trust. We like Nunn, but I'm not trusting him to run the offense.
13 points in a finals game.
I have to say, he took some like shot. Like I could see, like he took like a 3 like 5 seconds into the shot clock probably, and Spoelstra was just like.
Dude, him and Kuzma were just like competing for who could make Shackton.
Yeah.
Like, dude, these dudes made such bad plays, especially, I mean, there's that one picture going viral that we talked about. Like, Kuzma's throwing it behind his back, and, like, LeBron is like, dude, I'm leaving this dude on the ground.
Kuzma more of a dumbass, though. He just do some dumb shit on the court every game, man.
And then it's weird because he makes a three or he makes, like, a flashy layup and, like, okay, let's get more of this. And it's like, all right, Kuzma got the ball again. He's about to do the same thing.
He hits a lot of those like corner threes where you're an opponent. You're like, oh yeah, that's the shot we want, and then he makes it. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, and then he'll turn over the ball, and oh god, he's an interesting guy. Definitely still better than Jason Tatum, but
yeah, okay,
no, I'm kidding. Yeah,
we're
I'm
not. No, don't entertain. Okay.
I can't believe that was ever an argument by anyone.
That's true.
No.
First
season, it was a case.
I don't care.
The first season is a case where Tatum led his team to the conference finals. That's the case.
It was Scary Terry, but I'm
my
no.
But hey, they didn't have Isaiah Thomas. They didn't have
that's
any,
probably
like,
a good
pieces.
thing, to be honest. That's a good thing they didn't have Isaiah Thomas.
Okay, but that just proves that.
If anything, that would make his Kyrie, case better. By the way.
Kyrie, Gordon Hayward,
Lakers. Oh wait, that was when was Isaiah Thomas on the Celtics? It was when Jason Tatum was there, right?
Oh no,
no.
Oh, okay. I got those years mixed up.
Tatum was there when they traded for Kyrie, but Kyrie and Hayward were out in the playoffs.
Yeah, but like the Lakers had no chance of ever making a run like that. Like if you look at their roster.
You really think Kuzma would have made it to the Western Conference Finals?
No,
let's say East.
The West is way strong.
Okay, replace Tatum with Kuzma. Did the Celtics make the Eastern Conference Finals that year?
Hell no.
I mean, the Celtics had a great team.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, it would have been. No, I'm just saying.
I don't want
to
talk about it.
Really,
I don't want to surprise.
They really didn't have a great. Like, they were severely outmatched those playoffs without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. Their best player on the floor was Al Horford going into the playoffs.
They beat the Sixers in 5 during that run, but those were a lot of close games, and it could have gone either way.
And they beat the Bucks in 7. That also were a lot of close games that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
I've been saying, all I'm saying is I've been saying Tatum's better than Kuzma since year 1. And you guys know that because I've said it in the group chat for 3 years.
I don't think that's a hot take. The hot take was thinking Kuzma was better.
I could see the argument maybe like year 1 and 2 just because, or especially year 2. Because Kuzma was like
down here, and Kuzma put up numbers on a bad team.
But also, like, you just gotta know.
Yeah,
you just gotta know.
It's kind of like Carmelo versus LeBron.
Okay, one,
but like way like.
Wait, that's like a big scale.
Yeah,
you need to definitely size it down. Like it's really like a Dollar Tree Melo versus Braun.
Yeah,
99 cents, not even Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
5 below.
Not even the 1 cent.
Yeah, but either way, man.
I don't know if there's
anything to do with the finals. We're really just rambling on.
I don't think
that's cool. I think the listeners like to just hear conversations.
But the fact of the matter is,
I think we've kind of covered a ton in the finals, but one little nugget that I did like is someone interviewed this man Udonis Haslem for a head coaching interview.
Yeah, dude, he can take control.
He might be a good coach.
He can take control of a team.
If a team like hired him as a head coach and put like the correct assistants around him, I think he could be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely brings that like leadership mentality. I just don't know how he does with the X's and O's.
Yeah, and that's where the like assistants come in. But
yeah,
that was a nice little thing.
But props to the Heat to being like, dude, we're gonna keep you on the roster, literally just to be like another coach.
And I saw one thing. I think they keep him on the bench because like he took a bunch of pay cuts during those Heat years, so they're kind of like repaying him back for it. Still keeping him on the team, even though
Udonis Haslem an NBA legend as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, he should get his jersey retired by the Heat.
He will.
Like I think like those franchise players need to get their jersey retired by whatever team that they played for.
Yeah. Udonis Haslem will definitely get his jersey retired by the Heat.
Yeah. If he makes the Hall of Fame, they'll burn down the Hall of Fame.
I don't really think there's anything else to.
Yeah, maybe as a coach, if he ever gets to that point, but like definitely not.
Not as a player, no.
No.
Heat Hall of Fame for sure. But,
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Um,
back to our main point of this podcast. I just don't really think there's anything else to cover, just because it's so blatantly obvious that the Lakers are just gonna kick their ass for another 2 games, and this
hey,
season will be over.
one thing we could
What are you
mention
talking about,
is
bro? It's just 2-0. It's
Max.
just like
They're gonna
what's there to,
sweep
hey,
them.
hey.
Max, what I'm giving guaranteed.
No,
It's a
hey.
sweep,
Listen to me. What's there to be happy about?
bro.
What's there to
Oh
be
my
happy
god.
about?
Jobs not finished. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I
bro.
know.
They're
Jobs
missing
finished.
their starting point guard and center. They're literally
Yeah.
fucked. The Heat are fucked.
Yeah, and I saw a tweet. It was like that. Like some dude was like, "It's okay, Laker fans. We get it. Job not finished. Damn, you gotta tell us every time you're up
I know.
2-0.
After every
Guys,
game,
you guys-
job not finished.
Yeah, you guys look at my Snapchat. Every game, it's like, "Are you ready?" And at the end, it's "Job's not finished."
Yeah, fuck off. God damn.
Whatever, man.
Damn.
Hey, when you're repping your red, white, and blue Clippers gear, I'm not gonna hate on that.
I don't
Yeah, but
hate
when
on
they're
you
in the
repping
finals,
the
when they're
year.
in the
I don't
when
hate
they're
on
in
you
the
repping
finals.
the year, but
Well, damn,
just
man.
the
I
fact
don't
that
think
his job's not finished after every game.
it ain't happening next year. So let's see. I
Oh.
don't know.
Is the
The
job
job-
finished after every game?
My guy,
Is the
you can
job
keep.
finished?
I'm just saying,
Bro.
y'all say job not finished every single time. Like we get it.
One of the most important players in the history of the NBA, and especially for the Lakers franchise, died. I'm saying job's not finished until the job's finished.
Okay,
For him. For Kobe.
okay. I guarantee.
I'm
you guys are
saying, like, obviously, like, literally the job's not finished, but it's over.
Literally dude, come on.
I think it's kind
Literally.
of goofy that people keep saying job not finished like every single fucking day. But hey, man, whatever.
Hey, I
Y'all
can't.
do you.
Hey, what's up with the Celtics right now? What's up with the Clippers? Cancun on 3, right? That's where you guys are
This
at.
man bring up irrelevant stuff. I'm just saying, man.
That's
You
where
guys
you
tell
guys are
everyone
at.
every day job not
Over-
finished. Like fuck.
I was probably going earlier in the episode. I was going on a rant about how stupid Laker fans are. I'm just being a stupid Laker fan right now.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. Thank you for saying that. But hey, man.
Hey man, I'm not biased.
Well,
I mean,
either
obviously
way,
I am for the Lakers, but like I'm not.
Bam might play in
blinded.
Game 3. That's another side note we could say. Bam might play Game 3. If he plays in Game 3, then hey, instead of losing
Heat
by
have also
25,
not
they'll lose
ruled-
by 12.
Yeah, but the Heat also have not ruled out Dragic.
I think he's out.
Dragic.
How do
I
you
think
know what he
he's-
injured?
Planner.
I've never heard of that shit before.
No,
No,
that
a few
shit
years
like
ago-
it could keep you out for like a good amount of time.
Yeah, when I think it was Kobe's, like the season after Kobe's Achilles tear, like Powell got that.
Yeah,
and
and
he
it
was
could
out
be
for like a month or two.
yeah,
And then
like
Joakim
that
Noah
could
got
happen.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
It's-
no. I
It
don't
was
know. I've
weird. There was
never-
one year where it was a really like popular injury.
yeah. Dragic ain't playing.
It's over.
Joe
Max.
Johnson played with it though.
Set the parade. Come on, man. It's like y'all
Dragic
winning.
has
It's
been
okay.
playing with
I
a
don't
knee
think
brace all
me-
year.
I'm recovering from COVID. Technically, I don't think I should be talking about parades right now. So
A virtual parade, Zoom parade.
yeah, that's probably worse. I'd rather just run down the street or something.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, that's
let's
what
wrap
you
this
said.
thing
You
up.
said if the Clippers ever win the championship, you're running down the street.
Yeah, I am. Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Next year, you never know.
I'm calling it right now. They're losing in the second round to the Warriors. Mark it down.
I mean, I don't know with the new coaching staff. I mean,
I'm just setting my
Clippers-
expectations low. That's all.
Oh, okay.
When we do the season predictions next year, I'll be like, could they get the 8th seed? I don't know.
It's okay. The Celtics will make the.
Could they get the
conference
eighth seed?
finals
Yeah,
and
could
then
they get
lose
the?
to
I don't know, man.
One thing we should say about the Sixers and the Clippers is that because both teams were built to beat one player, and we've seen that building a team to beat one player doesn't work.
Doesn't
So-
work against teams without that one player.
I
Yeah.
would just disagree more so on the Clippers side because they were up 3-1. The Sixers just got swept.
That's true,
fair.
but they also had a major injury.
Hey, man. Embiid could
They were
win
gonna
you a
lose
couple
anyways.
games. They were going to lose
Yeah.
anyways. But
Yeah, they were going to lose anyways. But,
that Nuggets series was bullshit. But hey, what are you going to do about it?
well, I'm just saying, like,
I
if
know,
you're-
but I'm just saying, like, they were they were 1 win away from winning that series. So
I get it.
I don't.
But
I
I
don't
mean,
get
again,
that argument for them.
overall, you just have to build a great team. I think that's obviously just you shouldn't focus on
Which I think they
beating
did. It was
LeBron,
just
beating
mismanaged.
Giannis.
Well, I think they built a great team. It was
That's
just
what the Celtics
mismanaged.
did. They didn't build a team to beat any big man. They just built a good team without being able to stop the big man. And hey, they made it to 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we covered this. Celtics definitely did very well.
Yeah.
But,
Anyways,
that
unless there's
wraps it up.
anything, unless there's anything else any crucial information we need to cover about the finals, I mean, I guess we'll see you guys
Yeah. My
within
sources
the next
say Lakers
game or
and 4.
next 2 games.
We'll see you
Probably
guys on
after the next
Tuesday
2
when
games.
I think Game 4 is on Tuesday, so that's when you'll guys hear from us for sure again.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just wrap it up from the Contested NBA podcast. I'm Max Tepper,
I'm Ethan
a
Cope.
very happy Laker fan.
I'm Alex Toma, setting my expectations low as a Clipper fan for next year, baby. 8 seed. Let's get it.
And Ethan Cope.
I said my name
He said
already.
his name. God damn.
Yeah, but I was talking over it. I felt bad, so I just gave you an extra shout out.
Okay.
Bye. No, I'm just kidding. if you guys
Make sure to
obviously heard
like.
anything,
Thank you for listening, guys. God damn.
if you guys heard anything you disagree with, and if Joey and Jacob were listening to this, we're obviously going to hear about it in the podcast. They're going to, in the group chat, they're going to contest it in the group chat. But you guys listening outside of the group chat, yeah, go ahead and contest it. We'll see you guys next time.
Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Do whatever to support the podcast.
Follow us on Spotify, Apple Tunes, 5-star reviews. Thank you very much.
And buy organic. Yeah.
Nope.
No, I'm just playing.
All right. See you guys
All
next time.
right. Peace out.